Hey guys, welcome back to FlexForm, or welcome to FlexForm if it's your first time. I am Shan, and today we're going to do a little different class because I want to focus more on our ankle mobility. So we're going to go through a few ankle and feet mobility and stretches. Because obviously it's kind of something that is neglected in the stretching world. We all think about our hips and our back and our shoulders, but your feet are the ones holding you every day, and most of us wear shoes every day of our lives. So our feet mobility are probably really restricted and sore. So we're going to just take a quick class to stretch out our feet and do a little bit for our ankles, okay? But let's start just by putting our legs directly out in front of us. Okay, we're going to do just some flexion and extension of our feet here. So my feet are directly out in front of me. I want to first start by working through a point and a flex of my feet, okay? So I'm just going to try bend my ankles down and then try to curl my toes towards the floor. Beautiful. Okay, and then I'm going to try to flex my toes up first and then flex through my ankle. Okay, so try to push your foot down first and then your toes, because our foot is supposed to move, and toes, and then ankles. Cool. All right, let's flow between this a bit more. So foot and toes, like we're rolling down like a wave. Good, and then toes and feet. Feet and toes. Toes and feet. Good. Feet and toes. Toes and feet. Good, keep going. Toes and feet. Feet and toes. Toes and feet. Nice. All right, alternating. So one goes, the other one I'm trying to pull my toes back as close to me as I can. If you can, try to lock your knee and your leg as well, and it should squeeze and try to lift your heel off of the floor. Okay, so I'm pointing one foot as close to the floor, flexing the other, then going to try to swap them over. Good. Try to work through the joints of your ankle and your toes. Beautiful, it's swapping them. Really have that flexion, that dorsiflexion towards your knee, and swap. Pulling back in your toes. If you can, lift your heel off of the floor with that lift from your knee, and change. And change. And change. And change. Beautiful, good. All right, let's come both to flex. Now we're going to draw little circles. So I want us to open our toes first and then close them as we point them down to the floor and bring them back up through a flex. Okay, so open, push them down into a point and now up to a flex. Circle down and up. 4. Good. And 5. And reverse, so let's go to a point first. Open your feet, open your knees, then flex your feet up. Good, close them together and then push them down to a point. 2. And 3. 4. And 5. Beautiful. Okay, the last one here, I want us to point our feet down. So we're trying to get our ankle extension, so lengthening through here and then pushing your toes down. This is a bit weird, but I want us to keep our ankles pushing together, but we're going to try to open our toes away from each other. Okay, so I'm trying to open my toes and then push them back together. Think about having like a fishtail where you've got a little fin going in each direction. I'm opening my toes here and then closing them together. Okay, this is some extension through the sides of your legs. So any sort of stability that comes from the outside of your ankle, really good to helping you stop rolling your ankles. So you're opening, I don't know if you can see more here. So I'm opening my feet this way. It's squeezing along the outsides of my ankle and my calf, and then closing. And 3. Good. And 4. And 5. Eek. Good, all right, good, all right, shake them out. It's a little bit of movement through our ankles and through our toes. Give them a little wiggle. Beautiful, all right, let's stand up and we're gonna come over to a wall to have a bit more weight onto our ankles now. Okay, now we're at a wall. I want us to support us by touching the wall. We're gonna start by just doing some kind of calf raises, but one ankle at a time, kind of like you're pedaling. So first I'm lifting one heel up and pushing the top of my ankle here towards the wall. And I really want us to avoid doing this with our ankle where it goes out to the side, trying to keep those heels together and they're going parallel. Okay, so I'm pushing that ankle forward and trying to have that extension through like my knuckles, my toes, giving them a little stretch as well as the front of my ankle. Good, all right, let's lift ourselves up to swap them over. Keep your ankles in a parallel line, so not folding to the side. Good, and changing them over. So your extension through your toes, but also pushing the front of your heel forward. Good, and change. And 3. Change. And 4. Change. Good, last one. And 5. Good, so this exercise just puts a little bit more weight into these stretches. Okay, let's join our feet together now. We're going to do a calf raise. So lifting up our heels off of the floor, connecting your ankles together right away. You can feel that connection between the inside of your heels. Okay, let's try to lift our heels off of the floor, coming all the way up onto our toes. Good. Really squeeze up through your calves here and try to lock your knees so you get that full extension through your feet. Good. Now let's slowly lower down, keeping your ankles pushing together to come all the way to the floor. I can show you in this way as well. So my ankles are squeezing in like down the center line of my feet. I'm going to lift, 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 lift all the way up. So I'm kind of thinking about lifting up onto my big toe. And then send it slowly down with my ankles squeezing together. Beautiful, and 3, lift, 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 lift. Squeeze, extend your legs as straight as possible, and all the way down. And 4. Good, last one, and 5. Beautiful. Good, nice work. All right, do a little dance, check it out. Okay, now a bit more of a stretching position, less active. We're going to put one foot into the kind of the corner of the wall. So our toes will go onto the wall and our heel will go onto the floor. Depending on how much flexibility you have in this ankle toe situation, you can take your toes closer to the ground or higher. Don't worry about bending your knees, whatever works for you, but just achieve this sort of little ramp position with your foot. Okay, I'm going to try to lock the leg that is the same as the foot on the wall. So I'm going to try to lock this leg straight. Hands on the wall. I'm now trying to push my body towards the wall and then away from the wall. Okay, this is kind of the flexion through my ankle in the opposite to what we were just doing. So I'm really trying to bend through the front of my ankle and then away. And 3. Good. And 4. And 5. Good. Beautiful. Okay, keep that foot on the wall. Now instead of keeping a straight leg, we're going to bend this leg so the knee is going towards the wall in this direction. Good. Mine doesn't quite get all the way there, but I'm really feeling that bend through my ankle. Okay, and then to straight. So you're bending and pushing the knee towards the wall and then straight. Good, your back leg is getting a bit of a calf and hamstring stretch while you're here. Good, push it forwards and straight. And 4. Go. and 5. Good, let's hold it there, really push it in. Feel that stretch coming from the back of your toes, all down your foot and your heel. Eek. Good, and let's extend. Release our foot, give it a little bit of a wiggle, a little shake. You can do a little dance from foot to foot. Okay, repeating on the other one. So now I'm putting my right foot into the wall, toes on the wall, heel on the floor. I'm trying to lock this leg, so locking my right leg. Okay, from this position, I'm just trying to push my body towards the wall and find that stretch from my ankle all the way up my Achilles and my calf muscle here. Good. And let's go in again for 2. And 3. Good. And 4. Beautiful. And 5. Really get as close as you can. Good. All right, coming out now, the bending part. So keep your foot the same. The knee is now going to bend to try to push towards the wall here. So pushing that knee and straight. 2. And straight. 3. And 4. And 5. Push, 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 and let's hold it here for a moment. Really trying to get your knee closer to the wall. 4, 5, good. Release. Take your foot away. Do a little dance. Cool. All right, we're gonna reset our ankles just before we finish by doing those calf raises again. So just connecting your feet together once more time. Squeezing your ankles, let's lift ourselves up and down. Good, up, because flexibility, I say it in every class, it's about strength and control. You can't have flexible joints and muscles if they are super weak, okay? So try to finish with some active movement. And 5. Yay, good, little dance. Well done, guys. I know this is a bit of a weird thing to click on YouTube, but I'm sure your body needs it, and I'm sure it feels a lot better afterwards, just having that mobility in your feet again. Try to repeat this a few times a week if you're really feeling that your feet and your ankles need some strength, but also some mobility. And I'm sure it will help with daily life, prevent you from rolling your ankles all the time, and also just any sort of pain and aches through your feet. I have it, and I know I'm not that old, but I already feel it. So I do this quite regularly just to keep my body moving. Check out any of my other videos, but thank you for being here.